we must discuss the recent events on cable television in the United States. Because in the world of professional tennis, there are occasions that radically change the sport's demography in addition to victories and trophies. The latter we just saw. You may have observed a statistical anomaly, a spike, or a surge that defies the typical analytics of a mid-season broadcast if you have been keeping an eye on the numbers coming out of the Tennis Channel USA over the past 48 hours. The Tennis Channel often targets a relatively particular traditional tennis demographic, while formerly reaching over 60 million households in the US. It is a realm of legacy fan bases, technical analysis, and subdued admiration. This week, however, that network was at the heart of a digital storm, a viral phenomena that took Santa Monica's producers, analysts, and possibly even management by surprise. The reason behind this disturbance: a 20-year-old Filipino southpaw from Quezon City, Eala Alexandra. The headline that appears everywhere is accurate. Tennis Channel USA was taken aback. However, that would be an understatement. They were overwhelmed, not simply taken aback. The network didn't simply attract a typical segment audience when they highlighted Eala's remarkable run and recent breakthrough into the WTA Top 50. They reached one of the most fervent, online-savvy, and passionately devoted fan following in all of sports. We are discussing the Filipino diaspora around the world. The aforementioned video clip, which was supposed to be a typical profile of a rising celebrity, did more than simply appear on television. It moved. It was shared, shredded, clipped, and went viral on social media, bringing the Tennis Channel's brand to a level of engagement that is uncommon outside of a Big Three Grand Slam final. Engagement rates are comparable to those of the sports titans: Golf, Swiatek, and Alcaraz. This wasn't an American champion though. It was Alex Eala. Why is this important? Because tennis has been looking for the next big market for decades. Together with Lina Na, they examined China. Together with Kei Nishikori and Naomi Osaka, they examined Japan. However, Alex's current situation is different. It's organic. There is no denying that it is noisy. When you have 60 million households as subscribers, all of a sudden a significant portion of that viewership intensity is devoted to a single player who represents a country desperate for a world-renowned athlete. You have the makings of a viral hit. We're going to try something new today. We will do more than simply announce the score. We are delving deeply. Bit by bit, we will demolish this anomaly. We will examine Alex's journey from the shell court in Manila to the immaculate hard courts of the US Open. The raffinatal factor will be examined. Her steel attitude was shaped by her academy training. We will dissect her game's technical development, which has enabled her to defeat Grand Slam champions. Most importantly, we will look at why this particular Tennis Channel viral moment is a sign of things to come for women's tennis. Alex has awakened in the United States. There are now 60 million subscribers. Who is she is no longer the question. How far can she go then? Hold on tight. Here's the in-depth look. To grasp the scope of what we are witnessing on the Tennis Channel, let's put this viral moment in context. You must comprehend the gap that Alexandra Eala is trying to fill. Southeast Asian tennis has been looking for a player who can go beyond a regional circuit for a very long time. We have witnessed outstanding athletes. We have undoubtedly witnessed journeymen who have established honorable careers. However, it is extremely rare to find a real, credible singles challenger on the WTA Tour. They probably anticipated a typical thank you post when the Tennis Channel broadcast their piece. Player to watch the segment, huh? They ended up colliding with their sense of national pride. It's important to keep in mind that when Manny Pacquiao fights, the Philippines ceases to exist. Every time a player with even a trace of Filipino ancestry takes the field, this nation swarms the NBA's common areas. The response to Alex Eala's appearance on a major US network is more than simply acclaim. Eala is a local talent who speaks a language, carries a flag, and proudly displays her ancestry physically with the Sagita hair ties at Wimbledon. It's a matter of ownership. The voyage feels like a part of the fans' experience. And what an adventure it has been. This moment went viral for a reason. It is the result of a methodical, cruel, and beautiful climb that started many years ago. Let's go back to the beginning. It would be impossible to discuss Alex Eala without mentioning Manicure Spain and the Rafa Nadal Academy. That institution is the source of a certain lineage. You can see the essence of that academy when you see Eala play, particularly in these currently trending highlights. It's evident in the topspin's heft. The inability to give up on a ball is an example of it. Eala herself recently verified a rumor regarding her practice sessions with Rafael Nadal. Take a moment to imagine that. You and the King of Clay are exchanging blows as teenagers. He advised her to be surrounded by kind people. That advice may seem straightforward, even cliché, but in the competitive world of professional tennis, it may be the difference between longevity and burnout. Nadal's latest adjustments to her style of play demonstrate her mentorship. The difference between her performance in the 2025/2026 season and her matches from the 2022 US Open Juniors, where she became the first Filipino to win a junior Grand Slam singles title, is astounding. She could count on guts and consistency in the juniors. Grit is sufficient in the professional ranks when facing heavyweights like Sabalenka or Jessica Pegula. You must have weapons. The Tennis Channel's popular videos highlight her new arsenal, particularly her lefty forehand. In women's tennis, being left-handed is already a huge tactical advantage. It provides access to angles that are simply unattainable for right-handers. It throws off the opponent's rhythm. Eala has started to smooth that outburst. She took the initiative early. Her encounter versus Clara Tauson at the US Open was the clearest example of this. The game that truly solidified her rise to fame and prominence. Eala did not back down in the siding set. She took over. It's a harsh influence. From defense to attack. In order to understand why the American audience is suddenly paying attention, let's discuss that US Open run. The most boisterous and disorderly Grand Slam is the US Open. New York City is the location. You need to be able to manage the loudness, or at least have a certain amount of showmanship, to flourish there. A flourish there. Why? Due to the presence of the Filipino population in New York. We witnessed what appeared to be Davis Cup ties on the outer courts. Flags, chants, and a tense environment. This excitement was captured by the Tennis Channel cameras. They noticed that Eala had an integrated atmosphere generator. That's gold for a broadcaster. You want a player on your screen who attracts her own audience. They are showcasing her for that reason. She is becoming viral because of this. It's not only the mood though. It's the outcomes. We must examine the data. Perhaps the most difficult jump in professional tennis is getting into the top 50 of the WTA rankings. There is a huge disparity between the top 50 and the top 100. It sets the qualifiers apart from the main draw mainstays. Eala's achievement of world number 50 indicates to the tour that she is no longer a viable option. She is a competitor. Late in 2025, the course of her career took a sharp shift. The gold medal from the SEA Games. The Southeast Asian Games may not seem familiar to an American audience watching the Tennis Channel, but for Eala and her core support base, that objective represented atonement. It was obligation. She was in control when it came to playing for the flag. She didn't lose a single set. It was a pressure cooker of a victory. She was really popular. Failure would have resulted from falling short of the objective. To win matches on the WTA Tour, you need to have the mental toughness necessary to manage that expectation. And let's talk about the viral factor once again. The part about social media. These days, a player's personality is just as important as their backhand. Eala is becoming better at striking a balance. She speaks clearly. She is modest. She is really proud though. The moment Sagwa wore the Philippine national flower at Wimbledon was a branding masterclass. Whether deliberate or not. It provided a symbol to the viewers. It provided a visual hook for the narrative. These human aspects were highlighted in the Tennis Channel's season summary. The shared history-making and relationship with the Turkish player Zayn Samez. An international audience yearning for connection finds resonance in these stories. I now want to turn my attention to the technical study of why her game is doing so well on television, which helps explain the huge audience. A's game has a nice visual appeal. It's tidy. She does not make a lot of grunts. In slow-motion replays, her flowing movements appear good. The mainstay of sports broadcasting. Her down-the-line backhand is turning into a defining move. Highlight reels are produced when you have a signature shot. You acquire subscribers when you get highlight reels. It's a visibility cycle. But we also need to be critical. Without considering the difficulties, this in-depth analysis wouldn't be truthful. There are two sides to viral fame. She now has millions of new viewers and consequently, millions of new detractors thanks to the Tennis Channel feature. The top 50 is now the calibrated expectation. Losing in the first round is no longer a teaching moment. It's a disturbance. She is under a great deal of pressure. With Emma Raducanu, we witnessed this. With Osaka, we witnessed this. Overnight, the objective of the tour becomes the darling of the media. Eala is now in the living rooms of the average American sports fan thanks to the Tennis Channel's 60 million household reach. She is no longer merely a hero from the Philippines. She is starting to become well known in tennis. This alters how opponents get ready for her. They'll investigate her more thoroughly. They will target her second serve, which is still the region that requires the greatest defense, if we are being analytical. Her kick serve works well on clay, but if it is not positioned precisely, it can sit up on the fast, hard courts of the US swing. These flaws will be brought to light due to the viral scrutiny. The optimism around this news cycle, however, stems from the following counterargument. At the age of 20, Eala has demonstrated an ability to adapt that is uncommon. Check out her Miami match versus Jessica Pegula. Pegula is a low, hard, flat machine. I couldn't keep up with that pace. The court did not blow her off. She competed, even though she lost. She demonstrated she belonged in the 1,000 level competitions with a match. The analysts on Tennis Channel are aware of this. They are promoting her stuff because of this. They are placing a wager that her stock will increase. They are counting on that 60 million reach turning into gold in terms of ratings if she has a strong run at Indian Wells or the US Open. In addition, we must discuss the Asian swing. Although tennis is a worldwide sport, Western media frequently ignores the Asian swing at the end of the year. That dynamic is being altered by A. At the moment, she is the face of that area. Eala is necessary if the tennis station hopes to maintain viewership throughout the Asian swing. The bridge is her. She links the tournaments in Tokyo, Beijing, and Hong Kong to the US primetime audience. In a sense, the network is recognizing the geopolitical shift in tennis interest with this viral moment. Let's examine the surprise component of a headline in more detail. Why was the USA Tennis Channel taken aback? It highlights a blind area in media analytics in the West. The diaspora effect is frequently overlooked by traditional measurements. They gauge interest in the area. They measure older, wealthy tennis populations. They frequently overlooked the younger global masses' internet involvement. The algorithm probably noticed a rise that appeared to be bot activity when Eala's material plummeted since it was so huge and well coordinated. It wasn't bots though. They were actual individuals. A student in Texas, an engineer in California, and a nurse in New Jersey were all watching because it was the first time they had ever seen someone who looked like them treated like a star on a major US sports network. This is a measurement of the power of representation. Not simply a tennis player was visible to the 60 million users. A movement caught their attention. Not to mention the financial ramifications. Sponsorships result from viral moments. Eala is a Nike athlete already. However, American endorsements are made possible by this degree of exposure on US television. We are discussing a possible crossover celebrity. She goes from being renowned in tennis to being famous in culture if she can support her viral fame with a title in 2026, maybe a WTA 250 or a deep run in a slam. 10 times as much attention is being paid to the screenplay for the remaining 2026 season as it was last month. This enlarged audience will now watch every match she plays. Even her qualifications may receive coverage because to the Tennis Channel effect. She may webcast her practice sessions. She has risen to the level of celebrity in the sport. We must therefore acknowledge this viral eruption as a turning point while analyzing it. Alexandra Eala has made her mark in the media landscape as well as on the court, where she has been working hard for years. The gatekeepers of tennis coverage have been compelled to let her in. And the audience is sticking around, based on the figures, those 60 million potential screens. This pattern is not short-lived. This is the WTA Tour's new reality. There is a broadcast partner for the Eala era, and the numbers are clear. Let's stand back and consider the future to conclude this. In the end, everything we've spoken about today, the 60 million subscribers, the viral surge, the shock waves through the Tennis Channel, is all noise if it isn't supported by performance. However, one thing we have discovered about Alexandra Eala in recent years is that she is not afraid of making noise. She makes advantage of it. She won a Grand Slam by taking advantage of the juniors' pressure. She won a gold medal at the SEA Games by using the pressure of national expectations. She will now use the pressure of her sudden prominence in the American media to propel herself into the top 20, the top 30, and even higher. This week, the Tennis Channel may have been taken aback. The sheer amount of involvement that a 20-year-old Filipina can produce may have taken them by surprise, but I promise that they won't be taken aback the next time. They are now on notice, as is the rest of the tennis community. The terrain has evolved. As we anticipate the next Grand Slam, the audience has grown. Pay attention to the analytics as well as the center court. When Alex Eala takes the court, observe the audience size. A young woman who carries a nation on her back is driving the sport's growth in real time. We will be here to chronicle every serve, volley, and viral moment to mark the start of this lengthy and raucous chapter in tennis history. I appreciate you watching. Make sure you are tuned in right away if you want to be informed about this evolving narrative and the thorough analysis of the WTA Tour's changing dynamics.